पयः पृथिव्यां पय ओषधीषु पयोत्तिष्ठन्तरिक्षे पयोधाः पयस्वती प्रदिशः सन्तु मह्यम्. I don't have to say so much because we have already learnt a lot. But this mantra is from Yajurveda mantra, which is relating to our event today. Yajurveda has been introduced by Mataji to me because my question was, and it's a question for all of us, why we really need to know about Vedas and what is there in Vedas. Most of us don't know what is in Vedas. And I think we got an introduction now. And my question was the same. I felt, okay, I'm practicing meditation, which I learned, and I'm doing pranayama and asanas, and I'm learning. I've been taught yama niyamas, but maybe not to full extent I've been practicing, but to a certain extent I've been practicing. At least trying to be truthful to some extent, not always maybe, and trying to be following the disciplines and be ahimsa, follow the ahimsa path, because I believe in it a lot. So my question was, why should I go to Vedas? And I thought Vedas is always only about knowing the God. And excuse me, knowing the God. I said, I'm praying every day. Then what is there I have to know about God? And she said in one line, she said, Vedas teach us how to live. The roles of each of us as a teacher, as a king, as a student, as a business person, and how to get into, how we can do manufacturing, how we can discover things, how we can utilize the things that is present on the earth, and about the 5 elements, and how do we make use of all those 5 elements is all in Vedas. And Yajurveda teaches how to live. And this mantra is saying this. I would like to take the quote word to word what is here, and I'm sure you will understand, and I would like to elaborate a little bit, not much, taking your time. This mantra says, Jo Manishya जल आदि पदार्थों से युक्त पृथ्वी आदि से उत्तम अन्न और रसों का संग्रह करके खाते और पीते हैं, वे निरोग होकर सब दिशाओं में कार्य करे सिद्धि कर तथा आ जा सकते हैं और बहुत आयु वाले होते हैं. It is so much connected into our real life, which means here to focus, what it is saying is we have to eat pure food, shuddhi food. The diet has to be good. But how do we get a pure grain? So it's a cycle. So first point is we have to protect our environment. In our environment, because we are living, we are part of this environment. We have to keep our earth clean, water clean, air clean. Just now Mataji was mentioning, if you have been focusing on that point. If all these are pure, then anything, it's a science, everything is science. So the vapors that go above the water, that goes into the clouds and come back as rain and falls on the ground. And when the seeds are sown, comes up the grains. So what type of water gets in, we get that type of a grain and we eat that. So do we know, based on whatever is going on now, so much of fertilizers have already been used. And on top of it, we are polluting the environment, polluting the air, polluting our rivers. Then how can we expect good grains that is going to help us as a good diet? So our dharma, and I feel as a person, as taking the birth on the soul, for which first I would like to do my salutations to my parents. Because of them, I'm here. And then from acharyas, from whom I'm learning and trying to be what I am today. And now my dharma is to protect, as my role, how much ever I can do, protect the environment. The dharma. What is dharma? As it is very well explained in Vaisheshik Darshana, Tato abhyudaya nishreyasa siddhihi sa dharmaha. Very broadly explained. Dharma is whatever action we do, we perform, it has to be towards progress. Progress of self, progress of the community, a world upliftment. And it just doesn't is the progress, but it should be for the welfare of us. Unless we progress ourselves, we cannot help others to progress. So it is, the actions have to be in the upliftment and the welfare of the world, just not now, but in the next lives. What does that mean? Which means whatever we do, our actions, that is we termed as karma, it leaves an impression. It's a cycle. We come back and perform that. So our action is so important by thought. Just now we heard about in Yamaniyamas. All this is in Yamaniyamas. So dharma as our role, as a citizen, as a student, as a leader, as a person, as a daughter, as if we are performing our roles exactly what it is mentioned in the Shastras and we follow that, as Sri Krishna always says, to learn from Vedas, it is already there. Then we are going to protect this environment and avoid the disasters that we are facing currently. Whatever is happening, we are the sole cause for it. So it is my dharma. And with this same dharma, I started these lessons of yoga, and starting with asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. It's an Ashtang yoga. So I'm trying to take yamaniyamas. I'm not doing it, but as just trying to inculcate once in a while. So I have a curriculum where I have said for the beginners what it is going to be. And in my curriculum, I have also introduced some tips on diet, which I've been doing research for the past 3 to 4 years, and the resources that I have from all the books that I'm taking in. So what is this diet so important? We said there's a cycle. They're saying to have a good diet. And now we are saying it is our dharma to protect for us. And what is this good diet doing it? And as Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is mentioning in chapter 6 and 17th shloka, Yuktahara viharasya yukta chetasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So well it is saying, Sri Krishna is saying, one whose diet, thoughts and behavior are balanced and controlled, and whose deeds have divinity, who has a pious mind and desires auspicious things, whose sleep and awakening is regular, he is the true yogi. So important. It is so well said. Whatever we eat, we form that kind of thoughts. And whatever we think, the thoughts that we form, we think. And we perform that actions. And that's what we speak. So the end, how it is connected to the diet and how diet is connected to the cycle of this nature. So what is our dharma? So I'm trying to do my dharma and whatever I learned, trying to share it to my small groups, which I've been practicing since over than 30 years. So the reason of this event now is, as I had mentioned, it's an appreciation. And I started in 2008 with this yoga lessons and sessions. But I learned Ashtang Yoga, Hatha Yoga, when I was in school at 9th grade. All family, all kids used to go and we used to learn. So I started retaining, I started practicing. And at the age of 12, I was introduced this Dhyana Yoga in a shivir, Yog Shivir, as Mataji was mentioning. So by now, I'm sure most of them know that Mataji is connected to me right from my childhood. I had grown up in a family. And my first guru, I can also tell my father, because as a child, I used to watch him doing Shirshasana. And I thought as a child that this has to be a part of life and this is something that's going to keep us healthy. And I started observing, even my mom was doing it. So asanas, I've been watching them. And pranayam, I've been learning. And pranayama was taught by Mataji. And I have learned from Swamiji attending the shivers because I grew up in that. And from at the age of 12 to my teens, I have been attending the shivers and I've been learning Dhyana Yoga from Swamiji, Swami Satchidananda Yoga Saraswati, and later on with Mataji, going more deep into it based on Yoga Sutras. I've been learning, I've been listening Yoga Sutras, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. I've been hearing this since my childhood, but I never understood that very well. So as I'm coming on and growing up, and that's the days that are passing on, then I'm getting introduced and is the intentions. And as we do good karmas and sanskaras, I feel personally, and I believe that Adi Guru, the creator, will bring in the gurus in front of us, even without our search. If our intentions are strong, there is sankalpa. And at certain point, then I'm introduced. In 2007, I attended Ramdev Baba's Shivir here in US, who was already been there, and my family was attending his Shivers in India before. But I attended in 2007, 8, I think. Then I got certified as an instructor at Hyderabad, and I started sharing these lessons. Earlier, I used to do only just few asanas. Now, as a package, I learned it and I started presenting that. Pranayama and asanas, which I learned, and Dhyana Yoga, which I learned and have been practicing. And the practices had brought me till here today. And that's what I've been sharing to my small groups, and they have been practicing, most of them at their own pace. And I would like to thank the first person who has taken to so many groups is Vijaya Katti, my very good friend. And I think that's an inspiration when you learn something and you are sharing with others and telling, hey, you can learn this. So that inspires me, because I felt that what I'm sharing or teaching is benefiting others. And that's how the whole group, small groups, have formed. And I have friends to mention: Madhu, Devi, Neena. They were the earliest groups that were there from 2011 and 12. And it started spreading to many others. I started doing one-on-one as well. And it really amazes me to few of my friends who are coming from far off and attending early morning at 6 o'clock with the families. And I would definitely like to mention the family, Aritravula family, who are bringing their friends, coming at 6 o'clock, and we were doing sessions in the park. And it just started continuing. So everyone who was joining and continuing, it inspired me to take it further and further. And I think I came till here. And 2017, I used the technology of this, and I thought whoever, my friends who were not able to come to me, I said, hey, stay back at your place. We can use the technology, and I can do it on Zoom, and started doing dhyana and few asanas. So it continued like that until the last pandemic year had started off. And as a professional, I'm a financial professional, and that's my profession. But I was doing this on the weekends and on vacations, because I felt health is more important for anything. Unless we are healthy, we cannot do any other sankalpas, because that becomes a big hindrance. So I thought health is more important. And then pandemic had started out, which created havocs all over the world. And I felt yoga is the only one which is going to save us. And I felt, and even though at that time, my profession itself, it got slowed down because of pandemic. So I said, let me take this as a full time. And I said, hey, why don't we start this? And I'm going to give out time. You come in mornings and evenings. I started my sessions on Zoom. And it went very well. And that's the group that started off during pandemic, continuous, every day, morning and evening. And that's the group which is doing with so much of dedication and with so much of interest and learning. I thought I have to give a shape to it now. And whoever is learning, they can also teach others, because pandemic was a very huge thing for me. I said, how everyone will be fine. Listening to so many sad newses, I felt I have to take, and this is my dharma to do it. And this triggered me that I should give a name and a form to it. And I asked Mataji whether I can go forward for this, and she approved it. And that's how I'm connecting to Paatanjal Yogmat. For the introduction of Paatanjal Yogmat, you have listened to Mataji. She is a life example why I'm connecting, because Paatanjal Yogmat is under her guidance that is running. And it has many moments that is going on since years, more than 30 years, relentlessly. And one of the moment that is there, Paatanjal Yogmat is also running as Gauraksha movement and upliftment. Gauraksha movement, all those cows that go to slaughterhouses, Mataji stopped them going, and she started giving them shelter. That's a huge, big challenge which she has undertaken. They have many more, and the vision of this Paatanjal Yogmat, as is mentioned, They have the vision to preach, to learn the knowledge, the divine knowledge, the scientific divine knowledge from the Vedas, preach and spread to others. And only yoga can bring happiness and peace and happiness in the world. That is the mission and vision of Paatanjal Yoga Mutt. That is one of the main reasons I wanted to get connected there and get affiliated with Paatanjal Yoga Mutt. And they also work for the orphans, and they help children who don't have anyone, and they give education to them, upliftment of society, community. And Mataji has gives so many lectures in so many places. She has been doing that. And what I am more impressed is any question asked, she gives an answer. And after coming to this country, I did lose a disconnect because we did not have so much of technology. And that gave an opportunity for me to attend many other organizations. I have attended other meditation camps, meditation shivers, and lectures and discourses, but there were many questions that were unanswered. And then I think the technology had connected back, and there were so many questions that were answered that I started getting answers from Mataji. So I see Mataji as a knowledge platform, and I'm connected only to that platform with her. To know about her, one has to spend time with her to know about her. Only then we know it. Any question, any field, if I ask a question from agriculture, she quotes from Vedas. If I ask a question for industry, she quotes from there. Ask a question about the political sciences, she answers from there. About the grains, anything under the sky on these 5 elements, she gives an answer from that. So that's also the main reason that why I'm getting affiliated to Paatanjal Yoga Mutt. And I wish all my my group to be the students who be acknowledged. And I'm really proud because relentlessly they have been practicing and have been learning, and I did make a curriculum on this. So going forward, anyone who would like to learn as teachers, they can get trained and teach others. They would be getting certified from Paatanjal Yoga Mutt, located at Hyderabad, India. So this is about Paatanjal Yoga Mutt that we are getting affiliated. Dhanyavad.